Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. In last lecture, we have learned accounting concepts. If you have not watched that video, you go and watch. The link is in description. Before beginning to the topic, make sure you subscribe my channel so you don't miss any update. Now let us begin with today's topic, accounting conventions. So we'll start with introduction. Accounting conventions are the guidelines that arise from the practical application of accounting principles. So what is these accounting conventions? These accounting conventions are the practices which were followed by the people from the beginning while recording the books of accounts. They are nothing but generally accepted accounting principles, means they are generally followed practices which each and every businessman or the person who is recording the books of accounts, or while recording the books of accounts, we have to keep those particular principles, those particular guiding factors which are helpful for us to record the transactions properly. So they are based on the customs and traditions. So what are customs and traditions? We all are aware that the customs or traditions are the habits which we are, practices which we are following, our forefathers were following. You take an example of customs or traditions. The customs are in generally a certain community, Jain community especially, people are doing most of their functions on the Friday. Some Lingayat community, they are doing the functions specially on Monday, or certain, you may say that almost most of the people in India are considering Saturday is not a good day. So these are nothing but these are the customs or traditions. So they are not legally binding. So whatever these accounting conventions are there, these are not legally binding. So there is no force that you have to follow such and such compulsorily. But these are the guiding factors. These will helpful the businessman to record the transactions properly and arrive at the results properly. Accounting conventions. There are four accounting conventions. First is consistency. Second is full disclosure. Third is conservatism or prudence. And last one is, fourth one is materiality. We will discuss one by one. So first convention is consistency. The convention of consistency that accounting practices followed by an organization or company should be applied by it over the years. So whatever the accounting practices we are following, there must be consistency in that. Those principles or those practices we have to follow for years together. The facility, this facilitates comparison of financial results of the company or organization from the previous records or from one period to another period. If we are following same practices, those will help the stakeholders, or the results of the company are same if we compare the results of previous years or comparison of record of or results of one year to another year. So example, method of inventory. You can take an example of method of inventory. There are so many methods of inventory valuation. LIFO method is there, FIFO method is there, simple average method is there, weighted average method is there. FIFO method, first in first out method. LIFO method, last in first out method. Weighted average method or simple average method. So if a businessman is following LIFO method or FIFO method to record the transactions or inventory, then he has to follow for almost all the years, for every year, the same method. Take an example, the management has decided to follow out of these four methods one method. Take an example, FIFO method. If they want to follow, they are decided to follow the FIFO method, then they have to follow the FIFO method for a long period. Not for 1 year they are considered FIFO method, next year accounting they are considered LIFO method, then third year they are considering simple average method, and fourth year they are considering weighted average, and again on fifth year they are considering FIFO method. So it is not like that. If they are doing like this, the results are not giving accurate results. So it is consistency. What is consistency is there? Whatever the method of inventory valuation they are choosing, they are deciding, they can decide any method, but whatever the method they are decided, that must be kept in mind, and continuously we have to use that particular method. Then you can take another example, method of depreciation. So there are so many methods of depreciation which is available. So charging the amount of depreciation. So the management of the company can decide which method of depreciation they will use or apply for their company. You can take an example of straight line method is there, written down value method is there, sum of the digit method is there, insurance fund method is there, annuity method is there. There are so many methods of depreciation available, but the management has to decide which method of depreciation is beneficial or useful to their organization. Once they have decided, take an example, written down value method of depreciation is best for their organization, then they have to follow continuously, consistently the written down value method for of charging the depreciation for all the years. They cannot consider that 1 year, first year they will charge a written down value, second year they will consider straight line method, third year they will consider annuity, fifth year another method, sixth year another method. So there is no consistency exist there. So therefore the convention of consistency explains the businessman or the bookkeeper or accountant or the enterprise or organization that whatever the method of inventory valuation or whatever the method of depreciation we are following, we have to follow the consistency in that particular method. It is the right of management of the company or businessman to decide whatever method which is suitable for them. But once they are chosen that particular method, they have to continuously use that particular method. If in future they want to change, they may change, but continuously they may not change. Second convention is full disclosure. The term disclosure implies that there must be sufficient exposure of the information. So sometimes the full information is necessary, we have to give. The financial statement should disclose the full and fair information. Whatever the financial statements we are preparing, those are to be show that full information, full and fair information to the users of those particular information. The stakeholders should take corrective decisions. There are so many people who are involved. Stakeholders, customers are there, creditors are there, debtors are there, banks are there, owners are there, employees are there, and again lenders are there, society is there. So we should disclose the information, full and fair information. Based on that, the stakeholders can take a accurate or corrective decisions. For example, the figure of sundry debtors should be necessary to be accompanied by the figure of bad and doubtful debts. So if we are selling the goods on credit basis, obviously the debtors were created. The goods we are delivered to the customer and we have to receive the payment of that particular goods in future. So debtors are created. So according to the terms and conditions, if we are given one particular customer 1 month credit, so what is expected? Today we are delivering the goods, after 1 month he has to make the payment. So what will happen? Sometimes some people, some customers will make the payment according to the terms and conditions, but sometimes what happens, due to certain problems, some customers are not in a position to make the payment of goods which they are purchased on us from credit. So while in the balance sheet we are recording the as debtors, that we are considering that some of that particular amount which consist of debtors, they are of bad, means there is possibility that they cannot be recovered by the company, or there is a doubt that whether that particular customer will make our payment or not. So for that we are making that disclosure must be necessary, or we will make certain provision for bad and doubtful debts. Those should be disclosed. So this information is disclosed in the books of accounts. Third convention is conservatism or prudence. The cautious approach of having a conservative approach. Anticipate all losses but not profit. So this is the main theme. So whatever the losses which we are expecting, we should anticipate them and we should give the effect in the books of accounts, but we should not anticipate for profit. So conservatism, anticipate the losses but not the profit. All the prospective losses are taken into consideration. So whatever the losses we are considering in the future, the company will suffer, that effect we are giving in the books of accounts. But the profits which we are gain or we are considering to earn in the future, they have no place in the books of accounts. So example, providing bad and doubtful debts, as I have discussed. Whatever the goods we are sold on credit, the customers, all the customers are not in a position to make the payment of that particular amount. Some portion, take an example, 2%, 3%, 5% of total debtors are not in a position to give or make the repayment of to us. So that we will considering that money the company will not receive. So we are considering, so that we are making the provision for doubtful or bad debts. Means that money, if we receive, that will increase our profit, but we are thinking that there is possibility that that money may not be received by the organization. So we are anticipating the losses and we are making the provision. Second, providing discount on debtors. So sometimes what will happen, those customers we are given the goods on credit, so we are receiving that particular money and we are while receiving we are offering or we are providing certain discounts. So that discount on debtors is a loss to the organization, so that we are also considering as conservatism. Next, third is evaluation of closing stock at the cost price or market price, whichever is lower. So again, this is very important. When closing stock is with us, while we are showing in the balance sheet, we should write the value of closing stock by considering cost price or market price, whichever is low. Take an example. We are purchased certain items which are in stock. We are purchased for 50,000 and now the market price is 60,000. So here we are recording the value of closing stock in the books of accounts as 50,000, not 60,000. Because according to this convention, conservatism, anticipate the losses but not the profit. Then fourth one is discount from creditors are never taken into consideration. So here we are considering not to anticipate the profit. When we are receiving discount from creditors, means from the suppliers we are purchasing certain goods and we have to make payment to those particular suppliers in future. So while they, our suppliers, will offer us a discount, means it is an income to us. So that particular time we should not consider that. In future, if we are expecting that we want to make a payment of 1 lakh rupees and the creditors told us that we will offer you 5% discount. Take an example, 5,000 rupees is the profit for the organization. Instead of paying 1 lakh rupees, we have to make a payment of 95,000 rupees. But it should not be recorded in the books of accounts, as because if we'll write, it is anticipation of profit, but we should not record. Next, fifth one is preference is given to written down value method of depreciation over the straight line method. Generally, according to this concept, the method written down value method is a very good method of depreciation which we have to prefer while recording the method of deciding the method of depreciation over the straight line method. Last fourth convention is materiality. The term material refers to the relative importance of an item or event. An item should be regarded as material if there is a sufficient reason to believe that the knowledge of it would be influence the decision. Important items are to be considered, unimportant items are not to be considered or disclosed. It entirely depends upon the size of the organization. What is material for the small company may not be material for the large company, or what is material for one company, it may not be material for the other company. For example, the cost of small tools may be material for small business, but it may not be material for big business houses. A small repair workshop is material to the small organization, but the same may not be material for a large manufacturing organization. You can take an example, petty cash. So if a business is small, rupees 500 or even 100 is a petty cash. But if it is in a large organization, it is 10,000 or it is 50,000 or it even 1 lakh is a petty cash. So it depends upon the organization to organization. Thank you. Like the video, subscribe the channel, share it to others. Students in need will be benefited. I will meet you in the next lecture. Till that, goodbye.